And obviously it's early. Joel has talked about plantar fasciitis. James has talked about how he's in better shape. They're trying to figure out Maxi. Where does he get his touches at? How do we make Tobias happy? We got PJ Tucker here who defends and guards and doesn't care about points, but do we have enough PJ Tuckers? Like, they got a lot of stuff they have to figure out. And with 3 games as a sample size going against 2 championship caliber teams and one team who's not trying to win a championship, it's hard to judge them. And it's hard to gauge them because James is finding himself. And then once he gets comfortable, as we've seen before, he can distribute and score. But then it's about the offense and the flow and people posting about he had 500 dribbles. And it's always
Yeah.
something. It's like he can't win. He can't win.
Like the second you start counting his dribbles, man, there's just, it's just going to be somebody criticizing him the whole time. You know what I was actually happy to see was, I forget which game it was, but James Harden hitting pull-up jumpers. Like, that feels so normal to see again, like to just play the game, don't just pull up for 3 and hit layups. It seemed like it was a natural part of his game that he just eliminated for a while from Houston, while in Houston.
Hey, he had a career high. I think he hit 6 mid-range jumpers, which is a career high for him. And we think about James in Houston. We think about an aggressive 40 and 15, 50 and 10. I think he had a 16-14 game. You talk about a guy who scored at 3 levels, drew fouls, but he had a different type of burst. He was dunking a lot of those
Yeah.
cross between cross. He was going to get dunks. And I think he's not necessarily dunking those now, but he's showing the ability to still burst and still be able to get by and being able to have the breaks. And I think that's the sign of age, right? Can you speed up and can you slow down properly? And the same thing goes for our tires and our vehicles, right? As they get older, you don't stop on a dime. You stop at that stop sign or that red light and you kind of eke up. And I think a lot of guys, as they get older, that's how the brakes go.
I've been kind of intrigued by that now that you bring it up. The deceleration. It's only been sort of a noted skill probably since like the teens, right? The 20 teens when James Harden got moved to Houston and people started figuring out, hey, what is his great skill? And that was part of it. How long has that been something that not only you guys like teach or get taught, but like train muscularly for it, like the right, stopping muscles and everything like that in order to just perfect that skill?
Yeah. I do a lot of player development work in the weight room and off the court where we're working with bands. We're working full body movements, range of movements, motions, jumping with medicine balls, landing, hopping, just kind of putting your body through unnatural movements that you'll naturally go into during a game, right? You look at pictures and you'll say, wow, look at my foot. Like, look at the angle of my leg. Like, how do I train that? And you have to work on drill specific stuff, but also let the body just do what it does, where you're doing reading reactive, catching balls, jumping, landing, reaching for stuff, hopping. And as you do that, and then you train basketball specific movements, my game is predicated on my ability to start and stop. Like, that's how I score. I can start,
Mm-hmm.
I can stop, I can go 50, I can get to 70 or 80, and I can go back to 60 miles per hour or energy level, if you will.
Right,
And I can
right.
still rise up straight up and down, or have a slight fade. And I think my ability to have a long career is predicated on ability to play angles, ability to manipulate a game and pick and rolls, a unique handle. But shot making ability comes from finding angles, but being able to create space with my breaks. And I got really good breaks.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've just been intrigued by it for the last several years, probably like I said, since the mid-teens with James Harden, and I've never heard somebody say it like that. But now it's just kind of common language, right? At least amongst the hoopers.
Definitely amongst the hoopers, because you see guys that like Ja Morant who are really fast, like super duper fast. But when Ja goes slow to fast and fast to slow, that's when he's most unstoppable. Like when he's end to end speed, it's just him going to get layups or whatever. But when he plays that pick and roll and he slows down, he holds the defender on his back, he bursts into a stop, into a floater. That's when you know he's thinking the game and he's drilling the game. And he's not just using his God given, he's using skills with the God given.